Greetings, good morning, whatever time it is for you guys. It is your host with the most, Paul Plant 2, and today I'm planting a bunch of kind of more desert adapted plants in my Houston, Texas garden. But before we do that, always remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
So recently I went to the Rio Grande Valley in McAllen, Texas, and I came back with some really cool plants that I think can survive and thrive in this area as well. So that is what the mission for today is going to be, is to plug in some of the plants I purchased in my garden. Some will go in the front yard, in the backyard, and all the plants go hard. So let's get to gardening, guys. We got some cool things. All right, y'all. So the first plant we're starting off with in today's gardening extravaganza is going to be this agave. Now, I got this bad boy for, I think, $25. And the reason I'm throwing it in this area of my garden where my pond is because we have a giant pine tree behind me that suckles all the moisture out the soil, and this is west facing, so whenever the sun sets, this area dries to the max. So having a nice desert acclimated agave, and this thing is sharp as hell. Like, I got stabbed by this plant upon purchase, but putting this plant in this environment definitely will be key. It will get large, and it is a nice pop that'll look really cool on the border of this garden bed. So let's get it in. Oh yeah, and before we get too deep into the video, please hit the like button, man. It always helps me out, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I love you. So the first thing I have to do is dig a giant hole for this agave, and specifically it is Agave Americanavaragata. It is a variegated agave, or a century plant, so I had to prepare a large hole. This area, again, stays pretty dry, as you can see by the way the soil is reacting and behaving. Now the size of this guy will get about 4 feet by 4 feet, or 6 feet by 6 feet, which is absolutely huge. Oh, there's a little pup. Guys, look at this. A 2-for-1 special. There's a little pup up in here. Now this plant obviously is like a focal point, so I'm putting it on the corner of my lot to really hold this area and to look awesome. Damn, I just got stabbed. This thing is dangerous. But like I said, it really is dangerous, and hence why I'm putting it in the front yard and not the backyard where my dogs and my son will play. But I'm curious to see how it fills in this space, how it grows. But this will definitely be an eye catcher in the garden, and it already looks absolutely majestic, magical. It is a beneficial plant for a ton of different birds, animals, insects, and in about 10 years, maybe 20, maybe 30, it'll have a giant flower stalk, and then its life will be over. But we got time. I've always wanted to do a shot like this. Next, we have another agave, as I'm in freaking prone position. Is this prone position? I think so. But yeah, you have another agave. This guy is super sharp as well, so it definitely will hold some space in this bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop it right here, let it grow and fill up this area like a giant beast monster plant that it is. So I dug yet another hole. Gotta tease out the roots. And I placed this little guy all up in it, but I actually may move this agave because I feel like having 2 century plants right next to each other might kind of clash. So regardless of the fact, it still looks awesome, architectural, and it will probably be moved in the future. All right, so the next plant we're throwing in the ground is this Chile Pear, also known as a bird pepper. And these dudes produce tiny, hot, spicy peppers. It's native to Texas. It is a perennial. It attracts birds, and also it will spice up your life. I love using Chile Pears like in salsas, in dishes. They're tiny, but they pack a huge punch. It gets about 2 foot by 2 foot, and it is a true understory perennial pepper plant for this area, which is very, very cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy in the ground behind the pond where it gets some shade, it gets some sun, and I can see if it's struggling or if it's thriving or if it has peppers, so I can hopefully beat the birds to it. So let's get it in. Now, what I love about the Chile Pears is not only do they taste awesome, but they can grow in a variety of soil types, from sandy loam all the way to hard clay, and they also do thrive in all types of light settings. So from full sun to part shade to full shade, these guys can grow. All right, y'all, so we have one Chile Pear in the front yard, and now I'm throwing another one in the backyard food forest area. Pretty much my whole property is a food forest. I did have one of these previously growing here. I think I mentioned that. And Ranger, my dog, loves eating the leaves. So I saved the tallest one for the back so he can't reach the top leaves, hopefully, and I might have to surround it so he doesn't eat it all the way to the ground. It is crazy, but dogs literally know what plants are edible and what aren't. It's wild. But let's go ahead and get this guy in right here. This is kind of prime real estate with some pot sun. So let's go, boy. Now, chili pekins grow from zones 9 all the way to 11 natively, but if you really want to grow these little hot peppers that pack a punch and are perennial, then definitely throw them in a pot, man. You can have them in a 3-gallon, up the pot size, whatever you feel like doing. Just keep in mind that these are deciduous pepper plants, so they will lose their leaves in the wintertime, but they are most assuredly still alive. I'm so glad that I did venture all the way down damn near Mexico and was able to pick up this plant at a nursery. I think the nursery was called Tree of Life, if I'm correct. But regardless of the fact, it was awesome to finally get my hands on one of these plants. I wish they sold them in Houston. They don't. They are deer resistant, but we'll see if it is fully dog resistant this time around. I think the height will definitely aid me, or at least aid the chili pekins in avoiding my dog's mouth. So the chili pekins are in the ground, and now I am throwing in this Sephora Tomentosa, or this necklace pod plant. And y'all can see it is potted all the way out. It has really cool foliage, and this is another one that kind of likes a part sun environment. The light colors on the leaves are very cool, and I just like the way it looks overall. It definitely is something different than what I see in Houston Garden Center, so I'm going to try this guy out. Hopefully it thrives, and hopefully it spreads some little babies. Let's get it in. Now, this yellow necklace pod, of course, has yellow poppin' flowers, hence where you get the name from, and it grows along a ton of coastlines in subtropical and tropical environments. It grows in zones 9 to 11, and it is saline tolerant, which means it can grow along coastlines right next to salty ass water, which is cool. And it does prefer more of a sandy loam and a sand soil type because it is more of a coastal plant. So we'll see how it does in this environment. It's hardy to about 20 degrees, and the pods can stay on for a year, if not more. So I'm very excited to see how it performs. Hopefully it does well, because this adds a nice variety into the broadleaf landscape I have in the back. So there we have it. The necklace pod is in the ground, and boy, does it look awesome. So yeah, that's gonna conclude this video right now. I'm about to die of heat stroke. I'm not even going to lie. It like started off at 79 degrees. It's inching towards 100. It's still early in the morning, but man, it is miserable gardening in Houston in August. Hence why the videos have kind of slowed down. I definitely need to go harder next year in the spring and just stock up vids. But anyways, hopefully y'all did enjoy. If you did, please smash the like button. And of course, always remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
I am open to any and all plant suggestions, any suggestions in general. I know you guys have been asking me how I water my plants. I pretty much just hand water. I might make a video about that. I don't water too often, but when it hasn't rained in like 4 weeks and it's not projected to rain in another 2 weeks, then you got to get out there and yeah, water some things. But thank y'all again for watching, and until next time, peace.
Killing these songs, leaving a bloody life I roost to. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.